Hi Madhura, are you ready for 15 questions with 3 leads?
Hi, yes, I am.
So let me start by asking you, if you were to author a book about being a leader, what would it be called?
That's really an easy question. It would be called Aspire for Her.
Well, I look forward to reading it when the day comes. For now, how about a fun fact about you at work that most people wouldn't know?
Ever since I started my new journey with Aspire for Her, I work about 20 hours a day. So I'm not sure there are too many fun facts. But what do I do for fun? Well, I shop. And who do I shop from? I shop from entrepreneurs. And that's my way of ensuring that the women's economy becomes more robust.
Well, now your secret is out, and I'm sure a lot more people are going to shop from entrepreneurs. Fun things apart, if you're interested to know about a moment in your career where you hit a glass ceiling and how did you navigate it?
Well, I spent 25 years in banking and it was a beautiful journey. But yes, there was a point in time when I felt that the road ahead wasn't very clear, or I wasn't very excited about the road ahead. That's when I decided that I needed to make my own path and I needed to start an organization to motivate women to enter and stay in the workforce. So that's what I'm doing. We're adding 1 million women to the workforce by 2025 and 10 million by 2030.
Now that you've mentioned you've been working for over 25 years now, how do you perceive the gender gap has evolved since you began your career?
This is really a sad story. When I started work more than 25 years ago, actually things were better. Women's workforce participation in the economy was actually going up. And we reached about 32-33% in the year 2005. But from then on, it's not been a great journey for India. And women in the workforce have declined. Women's participation in the economy has declined, whether you look at the Global Gender Gap Index or any other forms of research.
Well, here is hoping that it's all an upward hill from here on. Alright, what's that one thing you wished you had known at the start of your career?
Careers are like marathons. And I wish that I knew that there was a way to have a looking glass in your hand and actually know what your career was going to be like.
Well, I hope it will help those who are just starting their career. Let's take a walk now, shall we? So, picking up from where we left off, Madhura, now how have your growing up years and the lessons from your parents shaped your leadership style?
Well, my father and my mother are two of the most inspiring people I know. I think I inherit a bias from action from my mother. Because when I was starting Aspire for Her, I was deeply disappointed with the percentage of women in the workforce, with the percentage of women contributing to the economy in India. And I was wringing my hands in despair and telling her the statistics and telling her how the country should do something, the policymakers should do something, the corporate world should do something, the government should do something. And she asked me, "What are you doing about it?" And that's why I set up Aspire for Her.
Wow, that's a truly inspirational story. So, how do you think your leadership style contributes to building the culture of your workplace?
At Aspire for Her, we don't really have a workplace. Our workplace is here. But what's most outstanding about this very diverse team that we have is that they're united in their passion for doing something for the women of our country, to ensure that they make women financially independent. And they're completely swayed and influenced by the impact that they create every day. And they go to sleep happy every night.
So, what kind of support did you get from your colleagues while transitioning from a junior role to a leadership position in your banking career?
So no, I didn't really get a lot of support as I was transitioning from a junior role into my banking career. So what did I do about it? I wanted to ensure that we have a framework of mentorship and to have a framework where senior women support other women without any bias, without any judgment. And that's the kind of workplace that we are trying to create every day.
Speaking of your time in banking, how do you see the role of financial literacy in closing the gender gap in the workforce?
You know, financial literacy leads straight to financial independence. And women's relationship with money has always been fraught with a lot of discomfort. Women don't think they understand money, and they have this very uneasy relationship with making money, saving money, and growing their investment. What we try to do at Aspire for Her is a whole movement called She Knows Money, so that women right at the beginning of their career as a student starts to understand money, invest money, save money, look at protection, and ensure that by the time that they're in mid-career, they're able to do a much better job of making more money, understanding money, and ensuring that they never ever lose their financial independence.
On the topic of financial literacy, what's that one piece of advice you would give to young women about achieving financial independence?
To me, financial independence is when you're scrolling on e-commerce, you want to buy a beautiful bag, and you just buy it without having to ask anybody for it. So my advice would be, make your money, grow your money, love your money.
Wow, rightly said that finance has no gender.
Let's grab that cup of coffee.
So Madhura, how important do you think are mentorship and networking in advancing women's careers?
Mentorship and networking is the single most critical pillar in growing women's careers and building communities.
So my next question to you, Madhura, is how do you leverage technology and innovation in your work?
At Aspire for Her, we use a model to change mindsets and build communities. And we've stolen that from a much more famous model. The model is called E cubed is equal to MC cubed. E cubed stands for where we want every woman in India to be, in employment, in entrepreneurship, or in education, which leads to one of these two. M, C, C, and C are the 4 critical success factors that we need to change mindsets and build communities. M is for mentors and role models. C is for courses, cohorts, and learning. This is all about skilling, upskilling, reskilling women for the jobs of tomorrow's India. The next C is for career previews, for celebrating women and their careers, and storytelling. And the last C, of course, is at the heart of it all, is the community, which connects with each other, motivates each other, elevates each other, and also ensures that they find solutions to problems creatively and collectively.
That's truly innovation at its best. So, what advice would you give to women who are hesitant to enter or re-enter the workforce?
Let me talk about re-enter, because one of our largest communities is women who are returning to the workforce. These are brilliant women, an incredible pool of talent for the country, and I think India's invisible lever to the economy. These women have taken a break, usually for family reasons, and they do want to get back into the workforce. And what we find is one of the biggest deficits that they have is the confidence deficit. And that's where we start our work. And then we ensure that they get skilled, reskilled, upskilled, and we are the bridge between them and the organizations that are hungry for talent of this nature.
That's some great advice indeed. So, what legacy do you hope to leave as a leader in your field?
I'd love to see India as a more equal and equitable country and society. That's the legacy I hope to leave behind.
I'm sure you will be able to achieve that and much more with your work. Lastly, What three words would you use to describe the three leads of the next generation?
Not really three words, but three syllables and one word. Unapologetic.
That is awesome. Thanks a lot, Madhura. It has been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you, and let me get back to my book.